UFOs are one of the most fascinating mysteries facing humanity today. Just in the past few years, we've seen some astonishing and truly historic evidence come to light. For the first time in history, the US government declassified multiple UFO videos, admitted that it had a top-secret UFO research program, and even published a congressional report officially acknowledging that UFOs, or UAP, are very real. The fact that government officials at the highest level all over the world are openly acknowledging that UFOs are real is truly unprecedented, and this could be one of the biggest stories in all of human history. Yet at the same time, very few people are having open-minded conversations about some of the deeper questions here, such as, what is the nature of these UFOs? Is there an intelligence or intelligences behind this phenomenon? If so, why are they here? And what can we stand to learn from studying and investigating this topic about the nature of reality and our potential as human beings? I think it's extremely important that we discuss and investigate these questions because, make no mistake, the UFO mystery could represent the greatest scientific revolution we've ever seen. So in this video, we're going to discuss what are known as the 5 UFO observables. This is a list of 5 characteristics of UFOs that have been officially documented by the US Department of Defense, and yet they're so advanced that they defy any explanation. Stick around to the end of this video because I'm also going to share some thoughts on what this reveals about the nature of UFOs and about reality itself. What's up everyone, my name is Jonas. Welcome back to Cosmic Consciousness, where we discuss some of life's greatest mysteries and all things related to the evolution of consciousness. Now, the mystery of UFOs is a topic I've covered in depth in previous videos, but let me briefly provide some background information to set the stage here. In 2017, a bombshell New York Times article revealed the existence of a top-secret government program that was established to study UFOs, or UAP. This program was called ATIP, which stands for Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, and it was run by this individual, Luis Elizondo.
So what you're telling me is that UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real?
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
Elizondo has made some remarkable and fascinating claims over the past couple months, but this list of 5 observables is something that he shared on a number of occasions. ATIP analyzed data collected from official military sources and formulated this list of 5 UFO observables, which are 5 extraordinary capabilities most commonly associated with UFO sightings. The first observable is anti-gravity lift. UFOs exhibit an ability to overcome Earth's gravity by completely unknown means, without any visible means of propulsion or lift, without any flight surfaces. There's no wings on these things, there's no propellers. We really can't tell how they remain suspended and generate thrust. For example, in the infamous 2004 Nimitz UFO encounter with pilot David Fravor, witnesses described the UFO as shaped like a 40-foot-long white tic-tac. It was completely smooth without any wings, without any visible means of propulsion, and again, it's a complete mystery how an object that's shaped like a tic-tac can remain suspended in the atmosphere and perform advanced aerial maneuvers. The second observable is instantaneous acceleration. UFOs have been documented on radar and on video and by eyewitnesses, accelerating and changing direction so rapidly that it way outperforms anything in the human inventory. Going back to the 2004 Nimitz Tic Tac UFO encounter, which is a good example because it's just been so well documented, Radar operators say they tracked one of the UFOs moving at more than 30 times the speed of sound. That's over 20,000 miles per hour. And just for some reference, the SR-71 Blackbird, which is one of the fastest planes in the human inventory, maxes out around 2,000 miles per hour. Compare that to 20,000 miles per hour performed by this white tic-tac looking UFO. But it's not just the astonishing velocity, the acceleration is instantaneous and truly inexplicable. Pilot David Fravor described it as like a ping pong ball bouncing off a wall. And the Tic Tac UFO accelerated from a standing position to over 10,000 miles an hour in a matter of seconds. This was tracked on radar. What's crazy is that no human pilot could survive the G-forces involved in that instantaneous acceleration. Humans can withstand about 8 or 9 Gs of force maximum. These things are tracked doing well over 500 or 600 Gs of force. The third observable is hypersonic velocities without signatures. This is an extremely mysterious feature of these UFO sightings, that these objects can move faster than the speed of sound without creating any signatures, without any vapor trails, without any sonic booms. And this is extremely interesting because it defies our understanding of physics. I mean, according to science, there's no way for an aircraft to travel faster than the speed of sound without creating a sonic boom. Again, this is a really interesting feature that could give us new insights into the nature of these UFOs. And it gets even more interesting because, as I've discussed in a previous video, we also see UFOs moving from the air into the water without creating any splash, without displacing any water. That characteristic is visible here in this video taken off the coast of Puerto Rico. We can see the UFO enter the water and skim along the surface without creating any splash or ripples. Again, I mean, this completely defies our understanding of physics, that a rounded object moving hundreds of miles an hour could enter a body of water without displacing that water. How is this possible? As I'll discuss later in the video, I believe that this characteristic forces us to consider some exotic theories or possibilities about the true nature of these UFOs. The fourth characteristic is low observability or cloaking. Even when these objects are observed, getting a clear and detailed view of them, either through pilot sightings, radar, or other means, is extremely difficult. Numerous UAP encounters involve objects that are invisible to the human eye and only visible to infrared cameras. For example, in this famous UFO footage from the Mexican Air Force, these objects were invisible to the naked eye and only detectable on the infrared camera. At times, they were even invisible to the radar. This is another characteristic that not only do we struggle to explain, we certainly have no technology that can even come close to matching this. The fifth observable is what's called transmedium travel, and this is the ability of UFOs or UAP to easily and seamlessly move through different environments, from the vacuum of space to Earth's atmosphere and even underwater. And again, as previously mentioned, there are multiple well-documented cases where a UFO is spotted flying through the air before submerging and entering into a body of water. Again, this is visible in this footage taken next to the Aguadilla airport in Puerto Rico. And there's also a more recently released video in which this unidentified object flies over the surface of the ocean and then disappears beneath the surface. It's really interesting to note that a huge percentage, a huge volume of these UFO encounters do take place over bodies of water. What does that tell us? These 5 observables are so extraordinary that they rule out any conventional explanation. I mean, how can we explain an object that demonstrates all 5 of these observables? Certainly, that's outside of the bounds of anything within the human inventory. And so this illustrates how, if we apply the scientific method to examining the data and evidence around UFO sightings, we can gain new insights into this mystery. And certainly this all leaves us with more questions than answers, but here are a few key conclusions or takeaways. First of all, some UFOs display capabilities so advanced that they outperform all technology in the known human inventory. And this is especially true if we consider that these sightings aren't just a recent phenomenon. They go back decades, even before World War II, and arguably centuries. There are centuries of documented anomalous objects or sightings in the skies. Secondly, in some cases, UFO maneuvers defy our understanding of physics. I mean, again, how is it possible that a UFO can move from air into water traveling at a high speed and not create a splash? Are they even physical objects? And lastly, making sense of UFO data therefore may require new scientific theories of the cosmos and metaphysics. For example, we may have to look beyond a purely materialistic understanding of the universe and recognize that there are other dimensions, parallel realities of existence beyond physicality, beyond space and time. In fact, this is my own personal opinion, is that UFOs aren't just from other planets in this physical universe, but are actually interdimensional, from other dimensions outside of space and time. In that case, they could be from literally anywhere at any time. It could be that they have the ability to manipulate space and time and project themselves in, enter in to this physical reality from other levels or other planes of existence. And that sounds really exotic and far out there. I mean, a lot of people, when they talk about UFOs, really only think of extraterrestrial beings from other planets. But that's another clear conclusion here, is that if we truly examine the evidence with an open mind, it suggests that the reality of UFOs is so much more bizarre and incredible than anything that we can even begin to fathom. I'm going to elaborate on this sort of interdimensional hypothesis in future videos because I really think that this could be game-changing for all of humanity in a good way, as well as in a challenging way too. Could it be that studying these UFO encounters will push humanity to evolve, to open our minds to a bigger picture understanding of the cosmos and awaken to higher consciousness? Personally, I do believe so. Thank you so much for joining me here in this video. Really appreciate you all so much. If you enjoyed this video, please visit me on Patreon where you can support me in making videos just like this one. Appreciate you all so very much. See you back here very soon.